Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, powered by Pitbull Audio. And this is the Paradox Effects Clinic. I'm Eric Lucero. We are here with Fernando.
Hey guys.
And Rogelio.
Hello.
And Efren, the third brilliant mind of Paradox Effects, could not be here, but he is with us in spirit. But nonetheless, welcome guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for everything.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime, no problem. So how about we start with a little bit of history of the company. So where are you guys from and how did Paradox Effects start?
So we are from Tijuana, Mexico, Baja California.
Magical city.
It is. It's a very magical city.
If you've been there. And we started around 2013. Yeah, me and Efren started, messing with effects. He started electronic engineering. I started. I studied visual arts, and we were just talking about making effects for a while. And one day, we just got in my room and started building some stuff and made a really shitty fuzz pedal, and it worked.
Right on.
And it was great when it worked, and so we started from then on, and we've been doing pedals for years now. Yeah.
Keeping on since, right?
Yeah, keeping on since.
So did any? You guys are musicians, regardless, aside from making the pedals, right?
Yeah.
So was there any particular company or maker that it influenced you or made you want to build your own versions of?
Yeah, I think Death by Audio was a really influential company because when we toured and we had more active bands, we were really into the DIY thing, we made our tours, we made our shirts, we made everything, so it kind of really fell into place, seeing a pedal company that did stuff in that fashion, I guess. So
yeah,
it made us think it was possible to realize what we wanted to do with pedals. And
other thing that I think that Dead by Audio we saw on Dead by Audio is that those guys were doing a lot of other stuff, arcades. I don't know.
And these studio
a lot of things
Death by
that
Audio,
you can do with technology and art at the same time. So I don't know. I think it's the essence of the project of the company.
Yeah.
Mixing all this. This idea of art and technology at the same time, so they can collide at one point.
Right on,
and making really great noise. So
yeah, absolutely, generating
doing a lot of noise.
Yeah, generating plenty of great noise in the meanwhile. And by the way, shout out to Oliver of Death by Audio. He is a rad dude, and a Place to Bury Strangers, I think, is what you guys might have seen on tour.
Place to Strangers,
just a killer band, But you guys have wound up making your own amazing pedals so far. So what was the first one?
So the first one was the Fortissimo, and we actually were working on the Fuzzy Cat, but that got side-toured. But we released the Fortissimo. Was the first pedal we made. It's a boost pedal, and it's a ultra-linear boost.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the
actually that pedal. Opened us a lot of technical stuff, technical data.
Yeah.
To make all the next pedals. So it's a very simple principle, but makes us realize to work with different how you call it, playing with circuits at different points.
So the production and R&D that went into the Fortissimo opened up doors for you guys, by the sounds of it, in how to shape a circuit that you guys, in the direction you guys wanted to take, and that the development of this is what led to developments that opened up the Fuzzy Cat defibrillator and onward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that's right on.
Exactly.
that was I was trying to say.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, no worries.
You nailed it.
We all got it. It's all good. But it's a beautifully simple pedal that does great things. It is You know, Fortissimo, for those at home who don't know, is in music notation just very strongly played.
Yeah.
It's an order, a dynamic order, and I like the way that you guys did it here with the F forte, fortissimo at the end and double forte in the middle there. Sure, I got that wrong in the middle one, but it's just that and a high-low switch. But it's amazing what this does because I'm running it at home through the same amp that we have here behind us, the Earthquaker Devices, which is a beautiful full frequency response, just gorgeous sounding amp. But I like things bright, articulate, and shiny. Yeah. And this, even at the lowest settings, almost works like a super buffer the way it is to my ears.
Yeah, definitely.
So why don't we roll in and give it a shot, right? So I am playing a Prisma Guitars Toledo with some Dave Allen humbuckers in it, and we are going into the Earthquaker Devices.
Or a white amp.
Yes, yeah, a giant white amp right behind us.
Brown guitar.
That sounds pretty good on its own. When you turn this thing on, and this is at the lowest setting on high, by the way. And even raising it just a little bit from dry again. Just starts adding a little more. So how about you guys roll it up while I play on something here? Yeah. Push an amp very well, and what's nice is, as I've been experimenting with this at home, is that the amp is a single channel amp, so I don't have a driven channel to just take it up to the next level, but this pushes it in a very natural way, articulating those highs that I like, which I can give it a shot at least, so take it near the end, might as well, right?
Let's do it.
It's a great pedal for pushing that amp you have just to the next level. Have you guys tried on anything else, or have any clients try it with great results on any particular amps, or tried through bass or keys or anything else?
I think with tube amps, it gives you like that punch, that end punch. If you want to give this kind of color, give you that color for distortion of the tube amps, it gets you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you guys also have the low mode in case you want to darken things up a little.
Yeah,
also.
Which I tried it with a P-bass into a SVT and just pumped the low, and it was just a nice growl. Not quite muted, but you can try it on guitar here. My dry. And then boost it just a little bit. Turn it on. Does give a nice little low push.
Yeah.
And after that, what was the next in development?
So the Fuzzy Cat was next. Yeah.
So tell me what makes the Fuzzy Cat so special amongst the world of fuzz pedals.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. Well, the Fuzzy Cat is an oscillation fuzz, and it also has a gate mode, and it's a more synthetic fuzz. It's not, let's say, it's high gain, but it has like a more synthetic voice, and you can change the timbre of the voice with the fuzz knob. And when it's on oscillation mode, it'll also do that, but on gate mode, it will make the decay faster or slower, and it can get like really sweet fuzzy tones, and it's also like really responsive to your playing and to your guitar. Yes, so you can also play a lot with your volume knob or with your picking or your attack of your instrument. This
really changes with what you feed into it for sure, but it's got that synthy fuzzy sound.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a cat.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot right here. So, really heard the dry and. There he is. I want to get a little bit of that Velcro-y breakup right at the end.
It'll cut the signal like really quick, but it can also cut it a little bit slower when you have the dial.
So it can get a little bit of sustain out of there when you want it to, for sure. And actually, I thought this was great on was bass, because it does have that, you know, broken, distorted bass tone sort of thing. Actually, might as well flip it over for one, right?
Let's do it.
Already started.
Monstrous.
Oh, and for the bass, this is a G&L kiloton, and we're playing it through a Varel and Meat Flip, which is this beautiful beast right behind me, which is a 100-watt tube bass amp. That actually sounds great on guitar as well, by the way. If you're a drone or doom sort of player, this thing really should be on your pedal board. It's, I mean, the way am I wrong? It kind of has a weird bloom if you let it sustain on that end.
I use it with synthesizers, and I'm happy with that thing. It's like, it gives you like this chaotic fuzz, like melting phase. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if you're lucky enough to play in a place where you can really crank out the output stage of your amp. This would be absolute fun to just really rip a room with.
Let's try the oscillation.
Absolutely.
Switch. So it'll start oscillating
That's the heart
just
of
by
the
itself.
effect.
So.
I mean, you can unplug yourself and just use it like
it can be used on instrument on its own.
Make a drone band.
Nice. So instant Sun O, just immediately. But for those that are like tabletop artists or synth guys, I mean, this would be a great option for them to put amongst their setup as an oscillator, right? As a tone generator.
That's also like an option. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So one fuzz, very fuzzy cat, and multiple uses. So after the fuzzy cat, you guys did release more, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what came next?
The defibrillator and the Oniric, but the first Oniric version, this is the second one, right?
The V2.
But we can, and the Arquitecto, which was the last we released on 2016. And maybe we can try this one.
Sure, absolutely. We can do a quick little demo of that. This is a rather gorgeous sounding modulated reverb.
Yeah, and the Arquitecto is a dual reverb, modulated reverb. So it has two echoes that go in cascade, and you can dial in both of them. They're both as level or mix knobs, and you have two switches for two modulation settings. So yeah, we can.
Right on. And it's two different flavors. The reflector is brighter and the diffuser is darker, right?
Yeah, a little bit darker.
So this is our dry right here with the Toledo.
I'm going to set the diffuser back and
Let's
try the reflector first.
You were dialing in the...
We can reach like more. I forgot what I was going to say.
But
like more like if you
flip the
turn
toggle
it up to deeper modulation, you can reach like this pitch shifter
setting.
kind of an echo pitch shifter.
Yeah.
I don't know, makes you feel like you're in a church or something.
With that big.
Yeah.
Really spooky church.
Yeah, like a spooky church. You know, you don't want to go to a church.
Yeah.
You can just.
If you went to the Church of
use
Satan
one of
on Halloween night, this
On
is a
Halloween,
little bit
yeah,
of what it'd be
exactly.
like.
I'm gonna switch the depth back and dial in the diffuser a little bit.
So now we're on
let's try
the not as deep modulation setting on the reflector,
Yep.
and we're blending in a little bit of the same not as deep on the diffuser.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. More of a washed tone.
It makes you feel like you're in a cave or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's a fun one for volume swells with that kind of atmosphere.
The pedal also has this expand switch, which will make the oscillation of the feedback go into oscillation.
Yeah.
Both you can get the feedback from the reflector or the diffuser, so that's why.
With the
With
switch
the
all the way
toggle
off to the
switch.
left there.
Yeah.
And right now it's set to the
To the
reflector, right?
reflector. So let's try that. So it gets kind of a little bit cathedral-esque, a
Yeah.
little bit angelic, you know. that
Gives
kind
it
of stuff.
gives it a nice epic vibe to it and keeps it going.
Give it like this epic background. Kind of melancholic or something.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a lamentfully sort of mournful sound to it, but it's cool as hell. Although me being a fan of noisy stuff like Mets, I found that if you kind of take it down a little bit more of the bright, let's say with the defibrillator here. So you can definitely get some cool effects going with it with gain. The Architecto was rather flexible for the modulated delay and killer sounding. So
Back up your fuzzes. You know.
yeah, it takes the fuzzes very well and overdrives and distortions as well. And
level.
to the next level. Kick it. Kick it. And the defibrillator was the last one, I think, of the original line, correct?
Yeah.
Which is just all out gnarly fuzz as we just tried right now.
Our first 3 pedals.
Yeah.
Try it.
This also has another neat trick on it, which is the sub-octave on it, right?
Yeah.
That is what's going on with the square wave, the sine square
It's a
switch in the
square
middle.
switch. Yeah, it's well, it gives you the sensation of a sub octave.
Yeah? So we'll flip that on just for a minute. So with the volume down, it's just fixed in there.
Also, you can use it like an instrument.
Oh, as like the Fuzzy Cat, yeah, you
Yeah.
can
Similar
make it
to
a,
the Fuzzy Cat, yeah.
Same principle.
A little bit noisier or high gainish, you know.
And by the way, that tone control on it is crazy, by the way.
I think it's the tone control is like the heart of this effect, like this pedal.
Yeah.
It's like very versatile.
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 But it definitely makes
the
for a
control.
very effective fuzz, that tone control, and that amount of gain on there. But one more switch, because while testing these out for this, I grew to really love this thing on bass.
Maybe we can try it with the switch down.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Make it outtake. But this thing is, I mean, even if we go like a little bit brighter and low gain.
Also, if you want that last punch of, I'm going to turn this knob a little bit down and
Using the shock.
If you use the shock mode,
Let's go ahead.
Oh yeah.
so
And that,
as you see, is like the that parts of the song when you have to just punch it and
Yeah.
I don't know, make the guitar scream or the bass scream.
Yeah.
Just use that.
yeah, it's, I mean, that thing does have a kick to it. Using it at home with the Earthquaker devices, again, kind of, it just really knocked the front end of the amp the way the Fortissimo does, but with much stronger punt rather than a kick. Yeah, just right to it. But I mean, basses take note. This thing is just so. So yeah, it's just a killer sounding pedal on bass. Takes low end real good, and that's one thing I gotta say. You guys make great products that are useful for bass guitar, baritone, versatile as hell, all of them.
Thanks.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Anytime, my friend. Now, on to one of the stars of the show, the Ionizer, which is a sequencing fuzz. So how about you guys explain what makes it a sequencing fuzz?
Yeah, so this pedal has 4 clipping diodes, which you can select four of each of one, and you can sequence between them. So it's sequencing between the 4 types of fuzz voices, and it'll sound similar, like a kind of a choppy tremolo or choppy sequencer.
Yeah.
I
And
know, like Harmonic Tremolo or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit close to that kind of feel. I mean, it's really not a complicated layout. You have the tone control up here, gain, level as on any fuzz, deep or bright switch right here.
Yeah.
And here is the step or sequence mode and the rate control for it. And you can hit the middle switch here to either pick your diode or as a tap tempo of sorts.
yeah.
It is a really cool sounding and something different, but I mean, it's almost like a multi-effect because you get 4 different flavors of sort of distortion fuzz on there.
Yeah.
And it's germanium, silicone, LED, and MOSFET, right?
Yeah. 4 voices.
So how about I
Four.
do, oh yes, 4 different voices for sure.
Yeah.
So how about if I roll through and you guys can demonstrate some of the
Sure.
work on that?
Yeah.
And we are on MOSFET right now, I believe.
Yeah. Silicone, which is a little bit more compressed and lower output.
And next up is the germanium.
I really like with the
Dark
bright
voice.
switch on deep,
On deep, yeah.
which will distort some of your bass
Oh, right on.
Actually, the brighter the deep makes you have more content of the instrument.
Oh, really?
So,
Bass
yeah.
content, yeah.
So you can have in the deep mode these more bassy harmonics,
Mhm.
and with the deeper it cuts those harmonics, so it makes you brighter. Like
Really?
it sound. Like
Oh,
the name.
right on. So it isn't just like a high cut, low cut. It's actually
No,
affecting what distorts and what in the.
Yeah, what's coming in the
What's
effect.
in the effect, yeah.
Oh, right on. So this rather articulate pair of humbuckers now in the deep setting.
Should we switch to the LED, to the last one?
Yes.
Last voice.
And this one I love. It is powerful as hell.
So has a more modern voice than the other ones. It's really similar to the MOSFET, but it's a little bit higher output. And
Right on. I've been on the neck pickup for most of the others, but this one, it's got some aggression, so I'm going to the bridge pickup here on it. So yeah, definitely a modern, very present, awesome sounding distortion right there.
Yep.
And that's the three diodes, four of them.
diodes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
excuse me.
In step mode.
you're excused.
I am. Oh,
Want
well
to
then.
switch to the... No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You may.
Estás excusado.
And that's the four individually, but now you can sequence through
Yeah, you
them.
can sequence through them, yeah, which is one of the main things.
Everything at the same time.
And now. So it does have that choppy tremolo sound as it's going through them, and as you said, like the LED has a higher output, the germanium and silicone a little quieter, so it does have that amplitude sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of when you reach to the MOSFET, it kind of like give you that cut of the tempo. Like
Yeah.
The LED and the MOSFET will...
And the MOSFET, yeah.
It's
The cut.
when we're messing around with this, because you have the LEDs letting you know, I was trying to mess with where to start the riff, and you get different accents, which is kind of a very cool thing to play with, and that's a neat feature. Is that I like stuff that you have to dive in and learn with, and this offers endless fun in that regard.
Also, we designed two controls to manage the speed of the frequency, so you can accelerate the frequency with the speed knob.
And the light speed up to
And
show
the
where you're
speed
at.
knob. Yeah, exactly. So the speed knob helps you to reach those spots when you can't use the tap tempo. You can use the tap tempo to make the sequence, but sometimes it's inhuman to reach those.
Yeah, to tap at that speed where it's
So,
up
yeah.
there. And it's a nice a big knob there that's actually rather easy, especially in the position where it is here, to just knock with your foot and go back to where you need it to be. And it seems like it's better to start at fastest and then go down to wherever you need it to be, and then just you're right back there.
Yeah. And if there wasn't enough oscillation, you can also play with this switch, this mystery switch. Can you play a little?
Oh, yeah. So it's something very definitely very different sounding, and I mean, you can kind of hear even without the feedback that your tone remains the same under it. You still hear your signal underneath it.
Yeah. You can adjust the frequency of the oscillation
with the gain knob.
Oh, of course.
Similar to the fuzzy cap.
Nice.
Then you can
just like a kind of Nintendo sound. I don't know.
that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah. So it's not just for guitarists, bassists, and baritone players. It is for noisemakers of all stripes.
Yeah.
Of all stripes. Now, as kind of with the Fuzzy Cat, where you get some cool bass synth sort of stuff going on with a bass, this actually sounds pretty awesome on bass as well, and it actually has a fair amount of your clean signal going through, which is important to a lot of modern bassists these days with drives, distortions, otherwise. They want their clean tone to hold up the low end, to keep it there, because some distortions, fuzzes, etc. can take some of that away. So, with that, pick up the handy dandy G&L bass. So even though that the tremolo effect is definitely the thing most people notice, your low end is still sitting there underneath. And
Still remains.
let's try with the this below.
Yeah.
Also, with I don't know, I have a lot of fun with the pedal using synthesizers.
Oh yeah.
So you can just play and punch the oscillation mode, and gives you all this other tone.
Nice. Right on. So it's these have found great places in synth setups with you guys, because you guys are synth players as well, and actually,
Rogelio mostly.
yeah, Rogelio. Right on. Well, hey, you adapted them to everything, as I said before, so it's working great. And I mean, like I said, even if you didn't want to do the sequencing thing. So even if you didn't want to do the sequencing thing, I mean, it is a killer sounding fuzz with 4 options, 4 flavors on there. So any other points we're missing on the ionizer? Anything else?
I think we've covered, pretty much all of it. Yeah. We really like the LED for the bass, so that's.
Oh, right
that's a
on.
plus, yeah.
Oh yeah, if you go to that one. Yeah, that is definitely a fat sounding distortion for bass. And after the ionizer came first. Oh no, the Oniric came first originally in the V1, right?
Yeah.
And
the first version. Exactly.
yes, which was a really awesome modulated delay that had a lot of possibilities. But what is different in the V2?
It's an interesting question, Eric. Yeah, so
Very kind to mention it.
Yeah.
very good that you mentioned it. So one of the many things is that the V2 is always modulated. I mean, you don't have to switch the warp foot switch to go into modulation, which the first one you had to.
Yeah.
Which was also a cool feature, but we wanted to make it more like on the go, you know, the modulation. So you just use the depth knob to get your modulation and the rate to get the speed of the modulation, right? And also we changed it used to have toggle switches for the pseudo random oscillator and for the shape. So now you have two small knobs, one for the pseudo random, which is like a percentage for how much the other oscillator dials into the main modulation.
You have more control for those parameters.
So you have like some sweet spots, more detailed sweet spots, and yeah, you can have a triangle, like sawtooth and square on the shape knob.
Right on. Awesome. One thing I thought was pretty cool was that with the depth, you have it at 0. There's none in there,
Yeah,
so it can be a standard analog delay if you really want.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
also for extra features, a difference at the version 1 is the FX loop and the CV out.
Yes. Yeah. So the FX loop, you can get any of your favorite pedals if you want, or any pedal into the delay signal, into the repeats. So that will make the delay respond in ways you didn't know it could respond.
You couldn't imagine.
Can't even imagine the possibilities, folks. It's and all you have to do is just get a simple TRS insert cable, and then plug in the send and receive as needed. And you also guys have the CV out for
CV
control.
Yeah.
So how about we check it out? We'll start on guitar here.
Right. Switch it on.
So right now it's like kind of a normal delay, I guess.
Yeah, and it's and without the depth in, it's pretty much just an analog delay, right? A little bit of decaying the repeats.
It's an analog voiced. Yeah, it uses a digital circuit, but it's like analog voiced. Yeah.
Right on. With mix nice and up to hear clearly.
One more mix.
Oh no, it's good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And how about we add in some of the modulation?
All right. So I'm gonna put the shape on triangular. Let's put some modulation.
Pretty beautiful sounding delay with the modulation, and definitely adds an awesome element. And we you put it up from triangle towards sawtooth, so you got a little more chop in it.
Yeah.
And the pseudo random, it adds in another LFO, you said, right?
Yeah. So you'll distinguish it as more of a syncopated rhythms that you can get on the modulation.
Right on. Yeah, let's give that one a shot.
Sure.
So get that character, that little wavers up and down.
Yeah.
The random wave.
Also, this pedal still has the warp feature, which will get the modulation into a more drastic setting, which will be a little pitch shifted, more of a synthy fashion, I guess. Sure. You want to try that?
Let's give that a shot, absolutely.
Sure. have to get a little bit more weird in this setting.
So it's definitely something cool to play with for sure, and I like that other dimension. It's I was doing some experimentation with actually the Fuzzy Cats.
Yeah.
Dial back the mix a little, yeah. So you can hear at the end of that with it lower in the mix, it just adds something in the background that kind of wavers. So again, it's if you're playing stuff that's held out longer, it is a cool thing to just add in. Also, real quick, if you can jump back, adding, going into a short feedback, I was obsessed with a little bit for auto double tracking, and I found this to have a little bit of that cool effect. Should get up a little more seasick. There we go. So there's the reason that stuck out to me is how wide this range of time is in there. And off the top of your heads, you guys know the milliseconds and delay?
Yeah, you can get all the way to one second, but it's, or 800 milliseconds, but it will get a little bit more dirtier at the end of the 800 milliseconds.
Right on, so there is a little bit of grit when you go up.
Yeah.
So another cool feature is the use of the CV out to control other stuff. So we have it in the loop, in the effects in the loop. So how about you explain how that works?
This way.
Right now, the CV out, if you can reach this section. Well, we have in the CV out controlling the filter CV and the happiness of Doorcraft devices. So if you reach the rate mode, if you control the rate mode,
they become really good friends. So
they become really good friends. You can see, well, I don't know if you can see the LED.
Even patched together.
It changing at the same time. So
they are hooked up, and it's the oscillator, right? And the rate is feeding the rate control in the happiness, and allowing it to talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. So, well, that's from the CV. You want to try the FX loop, or?
Yeah.
Because it's actually, well, it's in the FX loop, so
we can demonstrate it with the changing rate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
To explain it at the same time. So.
Los pájaros de un tiro, pues.
Los pájaros de un tiro. So if you change.
Get a little bit of that filter whistle in there. Let's up the time and feedback so we can hear how it affects the...
Started making some soundtracks.
opens up so many possibilities because you can stick really whatever you want in that effects loop, and it'll affect the repeats. In the beginning, we had it kind of like that double tracking chorusy thing, so it was present throughout, but once you turn the feedback and time up, you hear it in those repeats. And this is a really cool way to incorporate an effects loop because you guys not only allow it in, but you allow something to control it as long as the CV is there, which is pretty common. I mean, especially you brought the happiness, and Ben from Dwarfcraft has been, and other makers have been adding the CV stuff too.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I think it gives you like a lot of possibilities to experiment.
Yeah.
With. So yeah.
We also have the Nightwire from Earthquaker Devices, which we can
absolutely
try that out too.
And that one's the very cool, obvious one on the repeats with the tremolo on it. Sort of a harmonic tremolo phasery thing is going on in the back there. So you can stick anything in that effects loop and get some really cool results. Yeah. Absolutely. Any other notes, any other cool uses for the Oniric V2 that we haven't covered?
Well, we found out that with fuzz pedals, it acts the FX loop. I don't know, it functions very crazy.
Really. Oh, really?
Yeah.
We don't have fuzz wired here, but
actually, that was like the main reason we wanted to have the FX loop, because we were experimenting with the fuzzy cat inside the repetition. So that also was like, oh, that's pretty cool. We should do something with this. Like,
and did you guys have it just as a fuzz, or did you have the in oscillation mode?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
So that must have been a wild sound.
Yeah.
But definitely experiment, and once you pick up your Oniric delay, I mean, your world is opened up with the cool stuff you can do with it for sure. Now, anything else? Any cool combinations on this pedal board that we should cover?
Sure. Yeah. Let's try this. The Oniric. Let's try the Oniric with the Arquitecto. Let's have this. Get some really. Try the
Nice, a swirling modulation, a shadow right behind it. It's a very cool sound. I also had a lot of fun with the these two on with the ionizer.
Let's try that.
Some depth below, yeah. Again, unique stuff that sounds great together. I mean, hell, that's half the fun of having a pedal board, right?
Yeah.
Is you stick stuff in different combinations in different parts of the signal path and see what happens together. But yeah, this is the current lineup of Paradox effects. These 6 pedals, but we actually have a little surprise, don't we, guys?
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun. I think it's that time, guys. What do you think? Yeah?
It's that time.
All right, we got an unveiling here. I think so. So What do you
the
have
main
to
event.
surprise us with, guys?
So this is the Terran. It's our new pedal for the start of this year. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And this is we call it the revoicing overdrive, and it's an overdrive which has an active mid section. So you have your conventional controls, treble, bass, mid range, gain and volume, but you also have resonance and the bandwidth. And those two controls are linked together with the mid-range knob. So you can, the mid-range knob will give you more mids, but the bandwidth will select between 700 hertz, 1 kilohertz, and 1.5 kilohertz. And you can also increase the resonance of that particular bandwidth, and it has a sort of a wah-ish sound when when the Q is all the way up, but it actually can sort of revoice if you have single coils or humbuckers, or even sort of simulate some of your amp tones, which it's pretty great, pretty awesome.
It's we tried it for a little bit before the filming, and I mean, this thing has a pretty cool wide range amount of gain on tap and a lot of possibilities. I almost view it as a bit of a preamp, a little bit, because that's a very strong EQ in front of it. So how about we hook this guy in here on the front here and see what it sounds like.
Let's hook it up.
Hook it up.
So,
And we'll just steal from the. Oh, yeah, we got a spare one right there.
Yeah, we got a spare one. We can do that. This guy's
now we can see the layout up close through the close-up here. Yeah. But we have the bass control, mid-range, treble, the Q and bandwidth up here. The Q is a little mini pot there, gain and level. Now let's see what this sounds like. First on guitar and then on bass. Back to the McNelly just clean. Now let's set something. So it's got a pretty nice brass sound, at least when we set it. So it can definitely act as a distortion, not distortion, but a higher gain overdrive on its own.
Yeah, it's sort of a mid gain. It's not too dirty, but the EQ can also help you get a little bit more dirtier if you want to push it in that way too. So.
Right on. So I'll keep on playing right here, and about you start moving some of them knobs around and see what you can do.
We're on the 700 hertz, and we have the resonance on the middle, kind of. Yeah.
So right around the middle.
We'll play with that.
Cool. Right on.
Let's go.
There's that harmonic kind of bite that's happening. And actually, yeah, with that harmonic stuff up there, it's when it's at the on the high notes that stuff really shines. So yeah, definitely makes your brights brighter in a way.
Yeah,
It could
that's
pretty
on the
bright.
1.5. Yeah, so it can get really, really trebly also. Yeah.
I don't know, let's, and a little bit more.
I'm gonna try the 1K.
The 1K. Very cool sounding. So what have you guys tested out at home that you guys have liked it on? I mean, how's it been responding to different amps and such in development?
We've mostly tried it on guitar and a little bit on bass.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying it on a twin reverb, which we really dig the sound. And
It's really huge.
at
with the
first
twin
we
reverb.
were trying with
Nice.
an Ampeg amp also, and this is actually inspired by I didn't mention that, but it's inspired by the B4, the
The Ampeg
amplifier,
B4,
the
yeah.
Ampeg B4, which yeah, yeah,
And
it's an amp we I don't know, we used to mess a lot back in the day, and
I guess the control, the mid-range of the V4 is very versatile too. So it kind of give you this voice just by changing a little bit of the frequency of resonant frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess that was all the point of we've been inspired by that, and because of that we make this.
So that mid control really allows it to adapt just the way you want it. Be it you're playing through single coils, if you're playing through humbuckers, P90s, whatever it may be. Right
you
on.
can dial it in or get less mids, but also I don't know, dial in the resonance. You can get some.
Yeah, and
some
also
different
defines
tones.
very well your tone. Well, I guess you're playing, you're picking. So, like I said earlier, if you make a mistake in the guitar, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's right on. So this
Everyone's gonna notice.
So this thing will accent every single mistake that you
Yeah.
make. Oh, wow, perfect for a player like me.
Very well. Yeah.
All this sloppy stuff I shoot out of my hands. That sounded terrible. Let's try it on bass. So I'll switch over to the Varellin.
Let's do.
Whoa, that's a trippy sound. So it is very fat sounding on bass still, and works as a great drive. And I don't feel I lost any low end at all, given I'm playing through a friggin' monster amp right behind me. But but that is a great sounding overdrive on bass as well, and I'm sure it'll handle bass 6 and baritones just as well. I mean, handle it.
Basics, especially. Yeah.
Especially, yeah. Geez, wish I had one with me right here. Yeah, crank it through this thing, man. But that's a very, very cool, versatile sounding pedal with a lot of tonal options available in it. So you guys are going to be doing a pre-sale soon on these, right?
Yeah, on the 26th of this month.
Next
Yeah.
Friday. Well, this Friday.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you can start ordering them then. through their website, or we're going to actually have it on Pitbull Audio as well. We're going to set up a pre-sale. And
also for the pre-sale, well, we find very rare kind of Germanium diodes.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first ones that we're going to make, those diodes are going to be in the
Really?
Germans.
Yeah, we're gonna make a limited batch with those.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Like
Yeah.
a Russian, I don't know, Germanian diodes.
Something from the motherland. Right on. So I didn't even know about that prior to this, that there's going to be a limited run of these with a special germanium diode in there to provide the sound. That is awesome. And those pre-sales will start January 26th, which is next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you feel that we guys should show off about this, be it on bass, on guitar? Any other cool features or settings that you guys got excited about?
We can hold off, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
you are not going to
No,
be
no.
revealed these secrets. No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
I mean,
on.
you wanna play a little bit more?
Sure. You know what?
You
Let's
can
hear it
go
on
ahead.
guitar again,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's
Yeah.
sounds definitely fat on bass.
So it
but-
gives you like this, I don't know,
We
you can reach like this microphonic tone, like background tone that gives you this, I don't know, like screaming.
Yeah?
Like
Let's-
screaming
Yeah,
drive.
you can get the resonance a little bit higher.
Let's try it.
1 kilohertz.
Yeah, it does have that microphonic sort of quality of it.
Yeah.
So it definitely is possible to get some out there sounds out of a drive, and yeah, that EQ on there is powerful for sure. So the Teran, brand new from Paradox Effects,
Teran.
unveiled here. Thank you guys very much for joining us on this Sharpen the Axe, this Paradox Effects Clinic Special, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
And
Super mega.
super mega.
New Year
Colossal.
special. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
well, you guys are definitely kicking off 2018 with a very cool version of the Teran. And also, another quick note, very soon we're going to have a custom color run exclusive to Pitbull Audio of the Arquitecto. So keep an eye out on our Facebook, Instagram. We'll be showing those once they are available. Yeah, relatively soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank
Eric.
you for
Eric, hosting this.
everything.
Thank you.
It's been
to
a lot of
all,
fun.
everything at EnterTalk Radio.
Yeah.
And
But it's in soul and
In our hearts and
in
spirits,
our hearts
yeah.
and spirits.
he's inside this.
Yeah,
New
his,
pedal.
they did a Chucky sort of move, but instead of a doll, he's actually what's powering all the new Terrans. Yeah, those germanium diodes in the first editions.
Yeah.
Exactly. Working very hard. We're in the
There was
workshop.
never a friend.
There's
There was never a friend.
There's never an Efren. It's all dead on now. But yeah, check them out at paradoxeffects.com. You can also check out all of these are going to be available. Most of them already are, except for the Teran yet at pitbullaudio.com. Thank you very much to my co-hosts Paul of Sharpen the Axe, Cedric and Florentino from the crew for doing all this, and of course thank you to Pitbull Audio for letting us host this here. Thank you very much for joining us, guys.
Thank you. Saludos a todos.
A todos en Tijuana, de todas partes de México. Gracias a todos. Y español también.
Muy bien.
All of them.
Latin America.
Yeah, all that.